Welcome, everyone. This is David Morgan of themorganreport.com, and this is a backstage event for the Metals Investors Forum. And Mia is back with me, Puma Exploration. And Mia, this is one of those stories that keeps kind of getting bigger and bigger and bigger because of what's going on in New Brunswick. So let's just start kind of at the beginning, what your company is, where it is, and what it's doing currently, and then we can talk more.
Fabulous. Thank you, David. Yes, so Puma Exploration, we are focused in northern New Brunswick with our Williamsbrook gold project. We've been working there and acquired this property in 2018. And we did some initial surface exploration work. In 2019, we made a big discovery in 2020 with 5 grams per ton over 50 meters, which was the best intercept that week in Canada. We followed it up with an extensive 10,000 meter drilling program to further refine and find high grade gold subsurface along a 750 meter trend that is called the O'Neill Gold Trend. But we have an extensive land package, over 40,000 hectares, and we know that there's 2 other parallel gold trends that have been identified by previous operators that we have yet to explore. And we think that there's lots of other showings on the property as well that are worthy of attention. So the thought is that post our 10,000 meter program this year, we'll do some surface exploration further afield and try to identify targets for future drilling.
Very good. And you answered my question perfectly. However, we always get new subscribers, new people interested. I mean, gold seems to start, I think the gold run has started. I think it's very subtle. I think it's kind of a soft walk at this point, but you're seeing more and more people interested in the sector. So I want to back you up just a moment, Mia, and say, well, okay, great, wonderful answer on Puma, but could you give us the bigger picture? Why is there so much interest in New Brunswick right now?
Well, what's really interesting and where we lay in New Brunswick is that it's underlain by the same geology that seems to stretch from the eastern seaboard in the United States all the way to Western Europe. And it kind of hits also Newfoundland. And you know that Newfound Gold, Marathon Gold, there's lots of operators and explorers in that area who have gotten great attention lately because they found some very impressive gold grades around there. So we think that we're underlaid, we're in the same kind of horizon, and we have the same potential in New Brunswick.
Perfect. And that's what I want everyone to know. The old adage that grade is king does have meaning. Look, I've been through I know there's Newmont's got mines of a gram or gram and a half and to make money. I get it. But the larger your margins, the better off you are. So this is the kind of projects that I think that whole area has kind of re-inspired some of us, gold mining investors. So one of the problems, I'll call it, or one of the facts with an explorer is money. You've got to have money to explore, and limited funds is limited exploration. You're not in that position. Can you give us kind of what your treasury looks like and what your projection is for drilling?
Absolutely. We were very fortunate to be able to raise last December, and we raised $6 million. We have about $4 million in the coffers right now, but also we have the potential to add $11 million in our coffers with warrants and options that are in the money at this point in time. So we think that everything will get exercised. So we're in a very good position where we don't have to go back to the market, especially with seeing the markets the way they are right now into 2022. So we'll be able to defer that and keep on exploring and keep on having news.
One of the questions that's really important, especially in a junior situation, which I'll put that in quotation marks, is institutional participation. And usually, everyone says, well, Eric's bought it. Well, nothing against Eric. I've got his cell phone number. But Eric, was a pretty good speculator. I mean, he invested in a lot of stuff, but not necessarily significantly. So what's your institutional participation look like at this point?
So we have about 10% institutional buy-in. Crescat Capital came in 2019, and they have 2020, and they have about a 4% interest in Puma. So Quentin Henning is a big proponent of Puma, really likes the story, thinks that there's lots of affinities with Newfound Gold. We have yet to determine if that's the case or not as we're building our model. We also have Caisse de dépôt et de placement, which is a fund out of Quebec. And we have an Amsterdam fund as well who has invested, Plethora Precious Metal Fund out of Amsterdam.
So just for our viewers, I mean, it's important that you see these type of things. This is kind of a hint that you have a better than average, if not, B plus type of situation as far as this kind of situation is concerned. It doesn't guarantee it, but normally when you see pretty good participation, of course, Quentin Henning has been on our mastermind, I think 2 or 3 or 4 times. David Smith just wants to interview him every month, but we have other things, we have other people we need to get involved. So back to you, we've got the coverage of where it is, why it's important, the potential's huge. You're funded well, the drill program is ongoing. If I'd ask you to be the devil's advocate, what concern do you have as far as what's going on in the gold space right now, or Puma in particular, one or the other, or both?
Well, I think for us, it's not so much a concern. I think we have, well, it could be a concern, but we need to get the story out. I think Puma has been under the radar for, it's a relatively new story. That people's attention right now is very, very short. I mean, the reality with this play is that it's a long-term play. So I guess the risk is people that are looking for a fast return, is something that they have to be a little bit patient with Puma, right? We're in the early stages. So far, so good in terms of the results that we're getting. But this is not something that's going to turn around in 6 months. We get a lot of questions where people say, when are you going to get a resource estimate out? We've only drilled less than 10,000 meters. A resource estimate takes 100,000 meters of drilling. So, but it really holds together. We're building the model. We're building kind of the exploration model and the depositional model. And I think there's only good things to come for Puma, but people need to be a little bit patient.
Thank you. I think that's very important for investors to understand. And you can't compare any mine to another one. Of course, we do all the time, and we try to get close. We try to compare apples to apples. But if you're looking at a potential deposit or ore body of X, and you're looking at one that's only 1/5 X, then you don't need to do as much due diligence before you do a resource estimate. Because once you do that, you pretty much pledge to the world, especially under the National Instrument 43-101 conditions, that, here it is. And of course, you could start and expand. I get all that, but I just wanted to revivify what Mia explained. So I think we've got a pretty good feel for Puma in this backstage interview. Mia, I think that the gold market has yet to catch its move for the next leg up, and I'm a big believer in precious metals, honest money, the whole subset of why we're in the mining sector so strongly. Does the company look at that at all, or do they just look at what the basic cost of production is and what the margins are?
Yeah, I think, again, I think that's long term in terms of looking at what the margins will be. I think for us is to prove that there's something interesting in the ground that we have right now, and just proving it slowly but surely. I think we've had a very good method so far in terms of, and we're very, very fortunate in New Brunswick that we're able to see these gold bearing veins, quartz veins on surface, and we're not building blind, but again, we're building the model. We're building an understanding of it. So certainly that's in the background in terms of, can we build something that's profitable? But I think, and we think in terms of first inkling that yes, we're going to get there and this has the potential, but we need to prove it. And that's our job as explorers, is to go there, do the hard work and build it slowly but surely, with having all that in the background, of course, and seeing how gold is behaving and how the markets are responding. But certainly that's kind of the long range plan for us.
Very good. Well, I've enjoyed this backstage interview. Is there anything that we haven't discussed that we'd like our viewers to know before we sign off?
I'd just like to mention that, Puma has been working in New Brunswick for many, many years and had a whole portfolio of base metal properties that we've spun out to a new company called Canadian Copper. And so that benefits Puma shareholders, because as a Puma shareholder, if you, at a certain record date that hasn't been announced yet, if you are a shareholder of Puma, you will benefit from having shares of this spin-off company as well. So it's a totally independent company that has its own CEO. Their focus is going to be on developing that copper and base metal project, while we focus on gold. So it gives you kind of the best of both worlds.
Very good. Well, Mia, thank you for your time. It's great to catch up again. Wish you the best. And Puma.
Thank you so much, Dave.